So it's day 6.3 or 0.75, I suppose. If we're dividing it into, no, it's not, is it? 0.75 is 3/4, so it's divided into 4. So what's that? 66. 0.66. Another big tractor. Okay, so in this one we're going to be doing the square here, like we've been promising for the past 3 videos. Putting the floor down, roof on, and making 2 more shelves. And it's 5 o'clock. It's 5 o'clock. It's 5 o'clock, and I'm tired. And I've been doing the same thing all day. But we've made progress. It looks quite good, actually. It's funny, it feels like home now, because we've got like some Rob like construction there, instead of it being sheep and farm and rotten wood. So we've now got a bit of nice bit. So before bedtime, I'll try and get this done. Might seem like a lot of work for storage, given you can just pay for storage. But I don't think storage is insulated. If you pay for it, or maybe it is, but it's not heated. Or maybe it's not, maybe it's just kind of passive, you know, it's in a building. If you pay for a container, it's certainly not insulated, unless you insulate the container. I'm not sure you can do that if it's not yours. But this is all our possessions, and we're going to be living in a static caravan, and we're downsizing from a pretty big flat with a gym, home gym, basement, garden, workshop, lots, well, two, 3 bedrooms, office, all our business office elements. We're property developers, so I don't know what that means, but yeah, we've got paperwork related to it. So, well, you know, the reason I'm insulating it is because my wife's got a baby grand piano, and we're going to be storing that, moving and storing it here, which is why I've come up for another trip, because my brother's going to help me next week, and I was panicking that we're never going to fit it in, and if him and I were here, he's only got a certain amount of time because he's got to run his own business, and I need to get this ready so that we can just offload and then go back home, so he can get back for what he needs to get done. And we're also going to have to drive and get the septic tank, so we've got enough to do, but we're going to keep the piano in here, and I'd really like it to behave. I don't want it to get damaged. I don't want bugs to get in here and eat stuff. So that's why I'm air sealing it. You know, I'm taping all the insulation, and I'm trying to seal all around the bottom so that this is a nice, comfortable space for our furniture. We've got a leather sofa, and we've got 2 Eames chairs as well. Beautiful, white leather, walnut base Eames chairs. So I really don't want that to get damaged. Really looking forward to living in a static caravan for a few years without our furniture, because it's just nice sometimes to ditch the possessions. But there are memories, and I don't want them to get damaged. Plus, I mean, no way am I paying for storage, because I've heard horror stories that they cost £500 a month or something, and piano storage wasn't cheap. So building this wasn't cheap, but it was certainly cheaper than that. So that's why we're building it, you know, insulated, insulating the floor. And I know you say you do a job, do it. If you're going to do a job, do it right. And I have said in the previous video, rather than go for quality, I'm just getting it done. But I do still want to do a proper job, even if the, you know, joins aren't bang on and the stud work's not perfectly aligned, just like tiny lips and things. But that's why we're doing it to this standard anyway. All right, that's me done for tonight on this, but I'm not closing the video now. I'm going to run this one through till tomorrow because it wasn't very interesting so far. I've just put 3 walls and a ceiling up, so but it's not bad for the evening. And I'm going to keep going, but I'd like to get another coat on the holes in the roof, because last time I think it rained before it dried, and I've not got rain until Friday afternoon, which is at least 24 hours away. Probably slightly less than 24 hours away, but hopefully it'll be enough to dry. I mean, some of them did seal, so with any luck, that would be all right. And the bit I did around here earlier has dried pretty well, so perhaps the weather this time is just a bit more conducive to drying. Going to keep going tonight once I've had a wash, and well, I've got to, because look, all my stuff's out, so got to get that all packed away, and might try and do some of the floor tonight, but I'm going to call it. Going to give my wife a call and all that stuff, and then I'll just work into the night without having to worry about the camera and all that. So I shall see you tomorrow morning. Let it be a nice day again. I'm sure it will be. It's nice even if it's not particularly nice weather, although it'd be nice if it didn't rain though, eh? Morning, it's day 7, and it's lovely. Lovely, lovely morning. Doesn't get the evening sun down here because of the way the hills are lined up. It means it gets quite dark. Not dark, but you know, shaded. And as the evening progresses, you start to see the sunline kind of rise up like that. But it gets really nice morning sun. It's misty trees, which is good, but I'm not really a morning person, so there we go. I'm hoping today's going to be a lighter day because I got quite a lot done last night. I'm already unpacked. I've just got to finish off 2 more sets of shelves. I've made a dining chair rack. Haven't finished it. I've got to assemble that because our dining chairs don't stack, and they're really quite awkward and quite delicate because they're leather. Or like leather. I think they're advertised as leather. They're certainly as delicate as leather, but they're hard. And then I've got to work on the utility room if I've got time. So that's what we're going to get on with. But I'm pretty knackered from yesterday, so might take me a while to boot up. Find a good way to start booting up is just to move something else, keep going, and then eventually you'll be like, whoa, I'm in a manic rage, a work rage. Okay, let's go. Been avoiding that job for ages, since day one, because it's just been horrible. They laid the floor, well, they must have laid the floor on top of mounds and mounds of it. You'd think they'd just sweep it out, or maybe this is more likely, the sheep came in afterwards. But I mean, how many sheep was in there? 1 million? Still not tidy now. I mean, it's close, like all the loose stuff's off, but it's damp in the corners from what I said about the leak at the back. So I've put a small propane heat, well, it's not small propane, I've put a propane heater in there, just to try and dry out the concrete a little bit, so I can scrape the remaining loveliness off the floor. But I did it first. We got a bad job in the day, just get it gone. It's 8:41 and, you know, the rest of it's wood and my kind of muck. A little bit sorry for the chap who had this before us, because a lot of the materials that we're using, including some packs and nails, which is super handy, were already here, but he purchased internal finish ply, which is just amazing. Like the grain in it's lovely, but they left it outside and it's stained all over the place. And the other bits are even worse. But it just means that we've got this really fine quality ply that must have cost an arm and a leg. It's thin, but it's lovely. And it's all just gone bad. Some of the discoloration I'm sure you can get out, but I don't think sanding is going to get away the mould and mildew. You could spray it and kill it, but the point of internal finish ply is it's perfect. And if you've got marks on it, then it's no longer, you know, internal finish ply. Not that we've got anywhere we'd use it for anyway. Might use it in the utility room, but it's for those Scandinavian style internal, you know, plywood looking things. It's too thin for kitchens or anything. You'd have to trim, you know, put a sheet underneath it and then put another sheet on top, because it's only, I don't know if that's 11 or 9, but it flexes. It's not, I mean, this is like, it gets even worse. Some of them are, you're never getting that out. I think I'll do the shelves next. So that's me done for this trip. It's getting hot, which is nice. Just got to take apart base camp, which doesn't take long, and then head back home. And it's 1:38, which is great because my target was to leave by 2. And last couple of times I haven't left till 5:30, which has meant that we have been back about 2 o'clock in the morning, which has been fine on the drive back, but actually the next morning not so great because we've got to crack on with work back at home. In the next video we're going to be collecting the composting septic tank, which will be it should be pretty cool. Have a look at it, see what it's like. We'll take you through we'll take you through what it looks like. I don't know much about it yet, so you'll have to wait until we do the install to actually have a you know, how's it work and all that stuff. We'll have a close look. I've got a fair idea. We're going to be bringing the piano up, so the baby grand will be up here. The furniture, this is the bulk of the move next time. And then the video after that will be the caravan, and somewhere in between there will be septic tank and water and stuff. So there's quite a few cool things coming up. I'll see you in the next one.